Chapter 26, Introduction to the Biosphere. Section 26.3, Populations, Communities, and Ecosystems. So scientists have also organized life based on different levels of function and complexity. And we've already talked about one of these levels, that being the concept of a species. Let's now look at three other different functional levels that have been recognized by scientists, and that's populations, communities, and ecosystems. Now, it's important to recognize that these are organized categories, and they really don't exist except in the theoretical. So what is a population? Population comprises all of the individuals in a given species that live in a specific area or region for a specific time period. Populations contain unique genetic variation, and this variation has developed because of evolution of adaptations to the particular environments where these populations live. So it's obvious that what I'm suggesting is that each member of a population is genetically unique, and the whole population as a whole is adapted to the particular environment that exists. Now, it's also important to recognize that members of a population are not equal in their ability to survive and reproduce in the environment they live in. Some are better adapted, some are poorly adapted. But the better adapted ones should, in a probabilistic sense, have a greater ability to survive over time. An example of populations could be fish living in different lakes. In northern Canada, there's thousands of lakes, each with its unique environment that where many of them contain a species known as Sandervertium, or the walleye is its common name. And so these walleyes exist in these lakes. They're isolated from other walleyes, and they have unique characteristics that are associated with the particular lake that they survive in, and those have evolved over time. The second level of organization that scientists have recognized is called a community. So a community is all the populations in a specific area or region at a certain time. So it's not just one population, it's many populations of different species. And within a community, we have interactions going on, positive and negative interactions between the various individuals that exist in these populations. These interactions involve acquisition and use of food, space, and other environmental resources, and they also involve nutrient cycling. Scientists have discovered, through experiments and sort of natural experiments, that higher diversity seems to be make a community more complex and more stable. Here we see a community of cactus-like plants, and you may be mistakenly thinking that these cactuses are native to the deserts of Mexico and the United States, but these are actually in Bolivia, and they are not closely related to the cactus that we find in North America. So diverse communities are more stable. They are also more resistant to disturbance. And humans have been modifying natural communities, removing species, changing the numbers of individuals, and in many ways we're making these communities less diverse, and this could be a major problem. And um, this problem may be amplified due to things like global warming. So how does this relate to global warming and other forms of human mediated change in Earth's communities? The fact that we're making these communities less diverse, is that going to make them less resilient to change that is caused by things like global warming? The final level of organization in the biosphere are ecosystems. And ecosystems are the biological community and its relationship to the abiotic environment. So they're dynamic entities composed of biological community and the abiotic environment. And ecosystems' abiotic and biotic composition and structure is determined by the state of a number of interrelated environmental factors. So there's a lot going on between the biotic and the abiotic environment. A change in the biotic environment could change the abiotic environment. Likewise, a change in the abiotic environment can change the biotic environment. So changes in the environmental factors that make up an ecosystem can change how the ecosystem functions.